morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Clap your hands, clap, clap, clap. Stomp your feet, stomp, stomp, stomp. Spin around, spin, spin, spin. Alright! Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Learn these words, ultimate moron.
Good morning,
dumbass ultimate moron. Ultimate moron. Oh, man, what a beautiful day in the neighborhood, though. Seriously, good morning, that it is. Hey, that's right, it's me, Uncle Lou, live for you on LouTube today. And thanks for tuning in. And you picked a great day to do it, too. Why? It's the morning after. Morning after what? Morning after the greatest championship game in worst of the worst playoff history. If you were not tuned in at the end of last night's championship game, I just feel sorry for you. I'm not going to talk anymore about the game. I'm not going to discuss it. I'm going to give everybody who, for whatever reason, was not tuned in to the last 2 minutes of that championship game last night, I'm going to give you the weekend to go back and watch it. It's last night's live show, Uncle Lou After Dark, last night's show. The show is 3 hours long. The first hour and a half is the phone call show. The second hour and a half is the championship game of the worst of the worst playoffs, Rutgers versus Kansas. Okay? You can fast forward, find the last couple of minutes of the game, but you need to watch the last 2 minutes. Okay? I'm going to give you the... It's just like when Avengers came out or Star Wars or whatever. I'm not going to spoil it for you today. I'm going to give everybody a chance to watch it who, for whatever reason, like I said, wasn't watching it last night, but it was absolutely unbelievable. And to be honest, and I hate to toot my own horn, the only thing better than the ending of last night's championship game in the worst of the worst playoffs was Uncle Lou's reaction to the ending of the worst of the worst championship game last night. I jumped out of the chair. I yelled. Keep in mind, it was about 1 a.m. I yelled. I screamed. I cussed. There was a Jawan Jennings reference made. It was unbelievable. I do rewatch portions of a lot of my videos to, I don't know, like, it's like, what do you call it? I look for things that I do wrong that I might not notice as I'm making the videos, you know? So it's not like I sit and watch every second of every video I upload right after I upload it, but I'll go back and watch some of them. But rarely do I laugh when I go back and watch my own videos because I know all the jokes that are coming or whatever, but when that stream ended last night, the first thing I did was go back and rewatch the ending of the game. Not to see what I did. I just wanted to watch the ending of the game again. And I literally laughed out loud at what an idiot I was and the way I reacted to the end of a simulated video game. But it was a great game. You guys really should. It won't take you 5 minutes because, like I said, you can easily fast forward and just when you get to the part of the video that the game is on, which is the last half of the video, you know, skip ahead a few minutes, look how much time is left in the game or whatever. And once you get to like the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter, watch the last 2 minutes of that fourth quarter. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. But this is the morning show with Uncle Lou. That's me. And BVD, which is this guy here. Yeah, he'll be calling in a few minutes. Maybe. Yeah. No, he will. And we have a guest I'm going to get on the line here in a little bit too. Tyrants5. A lot of you guys know him from the comment section. He's an OU fan, been around a long time. He's gonna guest host with us today. And listen, the guest host position has turned out to be a hot commodity. Spots are filling up. If you're interested in being a guest host with me and BVD on an episode of the morning show, send an email. I did create a new email account just for this morning show, though. Now, if you've already emailed my other email, crazyunclelou@gmail.com, and I've got you down and I've replied to you and we've worked out a day that you're coming on, then you're good to go. You don't worry about it. You're good to go. I've got you wrote down here. in the calendar, you're fine. But from here on out, anything like that on the morning show, anything related to the morning show, it's going to be a new email. And I think I have updated it everywhere where it shows in all these different, all these different screens or whatever. It should say on that scroll on the bottom where it says want to be a guest on the show, yada, yada, yada. Email Lou and BVD at gmail.com. I see one I forgot to change, though. This one. I need to change this one. Let me get that one changed. How are you guys doing this morning, though? Friday, so the weekend is here. Congratulations. We made it through another week without college football. Amazing. That's 1 week closer to getting college football back. Next week's a big week, too. National Signing Day and that. Haven't checked the rankings lately. Who's number one in the recruiting rankings? This tea, though. Yeah. This tea. What is this? No one knows. I know, but barely. Let me change this real quick. Lou and BVD at gmail.com. Yeah. Lou and BV. How do you spell BVD? That idiot just asked how you spell BVD. What a moron. What a jackleg. There we go. How's that? Yeah, that's perfect. BVD, good morning to you, good sir.
Good morning.
How goes it?
I've been practicing that.
Yeah, that sounded pretty good. I'm looking forward to the Ultimate Moron having to call into the night show, and I don't know if you know about that or not, or do you even know who the Ultimate Moron is?
I've heard this guy.
The Ultimate Troll.
Hoping
he calls himself the Ultimate Troll. Yeah, I don't understand. He loves losing bets. It's like he acts like it's his job or something. Every time he turns around, he's losing another bet to Uncle Lou. He's a Barner fan, so take it with a grain of salt. But that
explains a lot.
Yeah, he lost a bet with me during the season, the Georgia-Auburn game, and he had to call me up and sing the Georgia fight song. And then 2 weeks ago, this moron's going to call me on the night show and say, I guarantee you Georgia's not finishing in the top 5 in recruiting.
Yeah, I was there that night. Okay. I heard that.
Yeah, of course, Georgia was ranked 3rd at the time. I haven't checked in a while. Have you? Do you know where they're at now?
I'm going to take a wild guess and say they're somewhere between 0 and 2.
Yeah, exactly, in between 0 and 2, which would be 1.
Yeah.
So, the Ultimate Moron, he's got to call me up and sing the Good Morning song, I believe, is what our bet was this time on the nighttime show, which should be great. So we got that to look forward to. I don't know if he'll call Thursday, like next Thursday, or if he'll wait till the next week. But I do think he'll call in and honor his bet, even though he's the Ultimate Moron. But he has always honored his bets in the past that he's lost, which is every one he's ever made. So I don't see why he wouldn't honor the bet. But so we got that to look forward to on the nighttime show. What do we have to look forward to on the morning show, though?
Well, apparently we've got Tyrants 5 to look forward to.
We do have Tyrants 5 to look forward to. I'm going to call him and patch him into the call here in just a second. He's an OU fan, so.
Is he? I wonder if he's going to be a depressed OU fan this morning or extremely jubilant, just happy to be on the morning show with Uncle Lou and BVD fan. I guess we'll find out.
We will find out. And I'm going to be honest. I have no idea what we're going to talk about today. This is probably the least prepared I've ever been for one of these morning shows. I usually at least take the time in the morning to pull up ESPN and look if there's anything sports related worth talking about. Or I did literally nothing this morning. But I mean, can you blame me? I couldn't go to sleep last night after the ending of that worst of the worst playoff game. So I'm really operating on next to no sleep here.
I'm saving that for Sunday night in case the Super Bowl goes sideways. I can go back and watch the replay of last night.
Yes, that's a good idea. I should start selling commercials for the worst of the worst championship game because it's just an amazing game every single year. Of course, last year, Tennessee won on a Hail Mary to keep from being the worst team in America.
Well, Tennessee has got this thing with Hail Marys. I don't know
Juwan
if you
Jennings.
know about that, but
Juwan Jennings. Has Juwan Jennings made a catch since then? That was in 2016. Has he done anything since then?
he made one in the Senior Bowl last weekend,
Oh, okay, good, good.
maybe two
Oh, wow. So he
in
may
that.
actually somebody may actually take him in a late round as a developmental project player then, huh?
You know, if I was an NFL GM, he would be tops on my list for receivers.
Obviously.
Well,
The next peerless price, I'm sure.
you never know when you're going to need somebody to accidentally step on somebody's head on the sideline. I'm a Tennessee fan. I can go there.
That's right. He did do that, didn't he? Yep, he
It was
sure
an
did.
accident. I saw it. I
That was
was
against
there.
wasn't that against Vandy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Because you
just
guys,
wrong.
I mean, any Tennessee fan watching or listening knows Juwan Jennings' love for Vandy. He would not have done that on purpose.
Yeah. I mean, I don't blame him. When you have a 3-game losing streak to a team like Vandy, you have a lot of
Mm.
frustration to take out.
You got to take some things out, Lou.
Yeah. So
You,
I
you have to.
completely understand. Enrique Robles, thank you for the super chat this morning, sir. I really appreciate that. He says, But have you scored a game-winning touchdown when facing a 4th and 10 from your own 1-yard line with 30 seconds left, though? Which, of course, is a reference to last night's championship game. Unreachable.
Yeah.
I think that's what that says. Yeah, unreachable. Think UJ can hold on to the number 1 recruiting class? Yes, I do, for a variety of reasons. We still have less commits than either Alabama or Clemson. Alabama and Clemson are full. Georgia is not. So, if I had to bet right now, I would say Georgia holds on. I think Tennessee moved up in yesterday's rankings too.
Well, they're going to move up to number 1 when we get Zach to sign.
When you get what? Zach Evans?
Yeah, yeah. I'm on a first name basis with him. I just call him Zach.
Okay. Well, you'll move up, but clearly you're trolling yourself or the Tennessee fans that might actually believe that. But you're not moving up to number 1. But
Oh, there'll be some. You
what?
know.
Let me just pull it up because I really don't know. Let's see. 24/7 recruiting rankings. Let me give the same disclaimer because every time it's somebody, look at this idiot. Of course he uses 24/7. I'm not here to tell you 24/7 is better or worse than the rest of them. I just use 24/7 every single time so that I can be consistent when I talk about rankings. In other words,
Makes sense.
if I say, oh, look, Georgia signed the 3rd best running back in America because that's what it says on 24/7 or whatever. And then next week, I go to talk about that running back and I look at Rivals and they have him as the 8th best running back. Then so I only do it to be consistent. So, and to be fair now, I use the 24/7 composite ranking, not the actual 24/7 ranking. And for those of you that don't know, 24/7 does put out a ranking for every player and team, just like Rivals, just like ESPN, whatever. But they also put out a composite ranking, which is an average of their ranking, ESPN's ranking, and Rivals' ranking. So, in my opinion, the 24/7 composite ranking is the most accurate of all 3 because it's an
It just
average.
makes the
of
most
3.
sense.
Right. It's an average of the 3. So, even if you're one of these people that, because there are some of these people that say, well, 24/7 always props up SEC players, or 24/7 hates, insert team here. That as soon as a player commits to us, 24/7 drops their ranking. Okay, well, I use the composite ranking. Okay, so just keep that in mind, Tater Loop. But Tennessee has moved all the way up to number 14 in the current 24/7 rankings, and they have 21 commitments. Now, I don't know how many Tennessee can take this year. Do you have any idea, BVD? It's impossible to figure out. I don't know why the coaches are so secretive about that. I wish they would just come out and say, we can take 24 this year, or we can take 26 this year. I'm sure there's a reason, but, man, trying to get number information in terms of how many players are on Scully right now, how many players can you sign next year, who's blue-shirted, who's gray-shirted. No coach in America will talk about that. It's strange to me. So do you have any idea about how many Tennessee can take this cycle?
This is exactly why what you just said is exactly why I do not follow recruiting
Yeah.
nowhere near as closely as you do and some of the other guys that we talk to on a frequent basis here.
Yeah.
I want to say 24, but I could be off by many, or I could be not off at all.
And for those watching that may follow it even less closely than me and BVD do, because I freely admit all the time I'm no recruiting expert. I think I think unless you've been following recruiting for a long time, you might just assume that there's like just a set number of players you're allowed to sign every year. But that's not how it works. Like basically, you start with the premise of, okay, you can only have 85 players on scholarship. Everyone knows that. But it's not as simple, really, as that, because I'll just give you one example. Last year, Georgia took Eli Wolf and Lawrence Cager from the transfer portal, right? They were both grad transfers. They didn't count towards 2019 numbers. They count towards 2020 numbers. So even though they're not even at Georgia anymore, those two scholarships count against our numbers for this coming year. That's just one example of why it's almost impossible to keep up with how many you're allowed to sign. So the basic rule with recruiting now is you can sign 25 players a year, but you can only have 85 players on Scully. And if because of that, you're only able to sign, let's say, 23 this year, you can make up those two spots any year over the next 4 years. So let's say next year Georgia has room to sign 27, but you're only allowed to sign 25. Well, if at any point within the last 4 years Georgia signed 23, then they can sign the 27 to get them up to the full 85. But it's just impossible. Blue shirts, gray shirts. They asking players not to enroll until the fall instead of the summer so that the number counts for the following year. It's just it's impossible. It's impossible to keep up with. So that's why you look at like Penn State has 27 commits. Oklahoma has 23. Michigan has 26. Texas has 17. Georgia has, 22? 22. Alabama, 26. Clemson, 23. It's just impossible to keep up with. But
Alabama has 26.
Yeah, so they're about full. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how many they can take or not, but it's very unusual for somebody to take more than 27. Like, you see a team will take 27 every once in a while if they got shorted, like I said, one of the previous 4 years, but they've got to be pretty close to full, I would imagine. So that's the main reason I think Georgia will hang on to the number one spot. We've only got 22 committed, right? Alabama has 26. Clemson has 23. So Alabama and Clemson have more players committed than Georgia, but we're still ahead of them in the rankings. So even if all we do is sign another low-rated 4-star or 2, it would be hard for Alabama or Clemson to catch us unless they signed a 5-star. But there's not any 5-stars left that I'm aware of outside of Zach Evans.
Would you like to explain again, so maybe I can better understand how and why there's only 32 5-stars from year to year?
A 5-star rating means that recruiting service is projecting that player will be a first-round draft pick, and there's 32 NFL teams.
Okay. Wow.
Somebody asked me this yesterday, too, and this is another good question. They said, let me ask you something. Georgia and Alabama both have 4 5-stars committed, but Alabama has 3 more 4-stars than Georgia does. So same number of 5-stars, but Alabama has 3 more 4-stars. How is Georgia ahead of Alabama? Recruiting rankings are not letter grades. So all 5-stars are not ranked the same. All 4-stars are not ranked the same. If you ever click on an individual player, and I'll just click on one as an example. I'm going to click on Bryce Young because I just happen to be looking at it. Bryce Young is a 5-star. His rating is 9994. That's very high, okay? If I were to click on some other 5-star, it might be 9991, which is a lower ranking, clearly, than 9994. So that's why Georgia and Alabama can have the same number of 5-stars, Alabama has more 4 stars, but Georgia still be ranked ahead of Alabama. What that tells you is that Georgia has higher ranked 5 stars than Alabama and higher ranked 4 stars than Alabama. Not that that matters. I mean, you really, I mean, you're splitting hairs even comparing like the number 1 class to the number 5, 6, or 7 class. But when you start trying to split hairs between 5-star recruits or between 4-star recruits, I mean, you're really, I mean, there's just, you know, and we all, yes, it's guesswork. We all know that too. So, but anyway, that's why Georgia is ahead of Alabama, even though Alabama has the same number of 5s and more 4s. So I hope that made at least a little bit of sense. You know what the problem with talking about recruiting is in terms of how it works? The more you talk about it, the more confused people get. Like I feel more confused now.
I was hoping you could clear a little bit of that up for me, and thanks. I'm more puzzled now than I was before I asked the question.
Yeah, believe me, I understand. Anyway, let me patch in. This will be a miracle if I get this to work again like I did last time. But let me see if I can't patch Tyrants 5 in here. I don't want to. I almost said the number out loud as I was dialing it. Let's see if this works. I don't know if it will or not. What am I doing? Oh,
I don't know, between you doing this and trying to figure out Facebook.
Oh, add call. There we go.
Putting an awful lot on your table.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing, but what else is new? Oh, wait a minute. Wasn't right. Now I really done. What in the world? How in the hell do you not know how to? What am I doing? Go back here. Yeah, now go there. BVD, remind the people how professional we are, please.
I was going to say, this is quality programming and entertainment every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at approximately 8 a.m. on your radio dial or TV dial.
If you ever watch the Paul Feinbaum show, and you know those 2 guys that he sometimes talks to in the other room with the 2 headsets on, and you're like, what's the point of these guys? This is the point.
Right.
You know, that's why every time the Paul Feinbaum show starts, the sound is actually turned on.
So what you're saying is we need a producer or 2.
Oh my God. Yes, I wish I could afford one. I sure enough would hire one. All right, let me see if I can patch this guy in. Let's see how this goes.
Hey, this is Ashton.
You there, BVD?
I are.
All right. Well, scratch him off the list.
Oh, he didn't want to answer?
He didn't feel like answering. Is it his
I thought ENRIQUE was supposed to be on with us today.
No wonder. Again, fire the producers.
Well, I mean, you know, I usually, what the people don't know is Lou and I have a very extensive plan and technique to the way we go about this morning show. See, what we do so far is sometime from between show to show, Lou comes up with a few topics to talk about. And then when I turn on my computer in the morning and hit my subscriptions button and look for the Uncle Lou page to come up, I look at the title, and then I know what I'm to be talking about that day. So in case you've ever wondered about this elaborate system of planning that we have, now you know. The cat's out of the bag.
Yeah, and tell people how many times you have called me the day before and said, "Hey, let's talk about A, B, or C."
So far, I think we're right somewhere between -1 and +1.
Yeah, that sounds right. But now what I'm going to do is actually attempt to call the right person that's supposed to be on the show here. Now that I've screwed the title of the video up and everything else, let me change that real quick too, and then I'll call the actual. the actual person that's on. See, BVD, this is why I created the new email address and gave you the login and password, sir. I'm overwhelmed. I've had that crazyunclelou@gmail.com address for 7 years
Wow.
now. So you can imagine how much actual email I get every day, plus how much junk and spam and all that. And anyway, it became too much to deal with once I started getting 5 emails a day about people wanting to be on the morning show. So that's why had to go ahead and create that new email. I can't wait for people to start emailing the new one, which, by the way, louandbvd@gmail.com. All right, Tyrants5, sorry about that. Enrique, sorry about that. Like I said, I was unprepared this morning. We're halfway through the show and have accomplished absolutely nothing. You're welcome, everyone watching, by the way. This is amazing. Celine Driver, thank you for the super chat. BVD, can you read that while I get Enrique on the...
I sure can. Thank you, Celine Driver, for the super chat. Anytime you need an emergency call me, sir. An emergency guest, I think is what he meant. I think that's what I meant to read right there. So yeah, we got to keep that in mind, Lou. Anytime we need an emergency guest, call Celine Driver.
He's our standby. All right, let me see if we can get the real guest on the line this time.
Uncle Lou.
Yeah, good morning in that. Sorry for the confusion and also BVD, are you there too?
I am.
Okay, we all managed to somehow get connected now. This is a miracle. Again, just a disclaimer, this is a professional show. Don't try to do what we're doing at home without
But we get paid the big bucks for it.
That's right. I mean, I don't know what you think this is here, but this is a very serious, professionally run organization, honestly.
Don't forget important. It's important that everybody know how important this is.
Right, yeah. And have I mentioned how busy we are too? So
yeah, in lieu of not being busy, we're very busy.
Did you say Lou?
Yes, I said in lieu of, not L-I.
I'm gonna need you to keep my name out your mouth. Don't try me. Don't try me. Don't try me, Afrojack.
Oh boy. Now see, I thought we'd made it past that, and here you go.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Enrique, what's up, buddy?
How's it going, sir? Man, I'm still trying to recover from last night, man. That game was insane.
It was amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I made the joke last night. I said, if you're going to torture yourself by sitting down and watching Rutgers versus Kansas for an hour and a half on a simulated football game from 2014, at least
on the internet.
Yeah, at least they can provide us with an amazing ending, and that's what they did. That was a crazy ending to that game, though.
Hey, that comment in the chat though definitely won for comment of the night. The one where he was like, some video game kid somewhere's breaking this video game right now.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, and we need
Enrique,
to do that.
I need to ask Enrique a question this morning.
What's going on?
How much? Good morning. How much smarter have you gotten? And be honest. I know it's probably a lot, but I want to hear it from you. How much smarter have you gotten watching the morning show with Uncle Lou and BBD this last month?
I kid you not. I've definitely gotten a lot more street smart than book smart.
That's understandable.
No,
street cred is through the roof.
I've learned a lot. I don't typically do morning shows at all, but for some reason I enjoy this one. I've been following Uncle Lou since the start of the football season. I remember my first call-in was at the LSU-Texas game, and I've followed him since then religiously, and I enjoy it. And now that Uncle Lou's giving me a shot to guest show, it's pretty funny, and I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, we're glad to have you on. No doubt about it. And I have no idea what we're going to talk about, but we're gonna sort of wing it here and figure it out as we go. Now you live in Oklahoma, right?
No, I live in Texas.
And that's what, Central Time, so it's even earlier for you than it is here for us.
Yeah, 7 a.m., but it's all good.
Yeah.
Who's your team?
I'm a USC fan, Southern Cal.
Okay.
But of course, in Texas, you're either a Longhorn or an Aggie.
So how's that working out for you being a Trojan?
I mean, I get a lot of crap after the 2000 was it 2005 2006 Rose Bowl national championship that we lost to Vince Young.
Mhm.
So we get a lot of crap for that. But I mean, other than last was it 2018 season when Southern Cal came to play Texas here in Austin and we got handed to thanks to the refs. But that's a different story for another time.
Well, as a Tennessee fan, I feel obligated to ask you this. You're the first Southern Cal fan that I've actually spoken to in person or, you know, whatever. How are you over the guilt that you felt for USC when they stole Lane Kiffin away from us back in 2010? Are you over that guilt, or is it still something that you're saddled with and trying to work through?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I actually liked Lane Kiffin when we got that signing. I didn't agree with how things were done when he got let go. But I mean, realistically speaking, I don't feel any guilt because he did do some good things. But again, with the whole, we were still, if I'm not mistaken, we were still under that probationary period because of the whole Reggie Bush thing, if I'm not mistaken, and so that also played a factor because I don't know if it was 2011 or 2012 when Southern Cal I think went like 11-1 or 12-1, something like that. And we weren't even bowl eligible because of the probation that we had thanks to Reggie Bush.
Wasn't Lane Kiffin the one that got fired on the airport of an away game?
Yeah, he was about to get on the flight.
They wouldn't
called
even.
him, hey, you're fired.
That's cold-blooded, man. That really
That's
is.
what they call karma, Lou. That's it. That's what they call.
Oh,
karma.
I know you were loving that, but in all seriousness, that is brutal to fire a guy 5 minutes after an away game ends. They fired him on the tarmac by basically telling him you can't even get on the plane. You got to basically take an Uber back to Southern Cal.
Yeah, and I mean Southern Cal, the administration definitely got a lot of backlash for that, and I agree because there was 1,000,001 more ways that you could have done that in a lot more professional manner.
Yeah.
Regardless of if he was in a bad stretch of games and whatnot, but could have easily waited. He was in Arizona, I think, at the time.
Right.
Could have waited, an hour or 2 hour flight.
I mean, I thought it was hilarious as an outsider, but like, gee, I mean, imagine being late. Imagine that happening. Imagine you have some type of job where you might have to travel or something, and they fly you 2 or 3 states away or whatever, and then they decide while you're there that your services are no longer needed, and they don't even fly you back home. They just say, that's it. You're stuck here in Timbuktu or bumfuck Egypt or wherever the hell they. That's brutal. That is brutal.
You might not be aware of this, Uncle Lou. I know you're not aware of it, and Enrique, I'm almost positive you're not aware of it. Lane Kiffin and I are close personal friends. We have an extensive relationship together, and he actually called me that night from the tarmac and said, "Hey, BBD, look, I know we've had a little tiff. Is there any chance you could, fly out here, pick me up, and take me back to Southern Cal?" Fortunately, unfortunately for him, fortunately for me, I was busy that night, so I couldn't do it. And I really don't know how he got back home. So I just want to apologize right now to Lane if he's listening. Sorry about that, buddy.
And correct me if I'm wrong, BVD. But this, it was almost 10 years ago now that this happened. But correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they actually let him fly back to Los Angeles. But he, obviously at that point he already knew he was fired. But correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they let him fly back with the team. It's just, by the time he was on the plane already, he knew he wasn't going to be the coach anymore.
Surely they did. I mean, I don't know if he was actually on the plane that night or not. I was too busy laughing.
Anthony R in the comments, man, Texas is back. We hear it every year. Just win at least 8 games this season, man. First, before start talking.
BVD, I know you can see the comments too, but I have to read this one. Where did it go? Shoot, because I want to give this guy. Oh, LSU fan Dago says BVD delivered pizzas to Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, I saw that.
Now
I was not offered a cabin either by Lane.
Oh, that's hilarious. Ruben Terry, thank you for the super chat. He says, how much sleep do you get a night? On Tuesdays and Thursday nights, I don't get much sleep at all because I do the night show, and then this show is at 8 the following morning. So Tuesday and Thursday nights, I get the least amount of sleep. The other nights, it's kind of hit or miss. Now, the night before last, which would have been, Wednesday night, I was asleep by probably 10:30 or 10:45, and that's early for me. It's usually closer to 11:30 or 12 before I go to sleep, sometimes even later. So I actually got a lot of sleep Wednesday night. But
I don't even know that I'm buying that, Lou, because I see you. I visit a lot of the late night live streams that are out there. I don't comment on many of them, but I see you in those quite a bit too. I'm always wondering, man, when does this dude sleep?
yeah,
I thought I was bad.
Yeah, and listen, at the beginning of the year, I said, look, I'm not a New Year's resolution guy. I've never done that, and that's not what I'm doing now. But I said there are a few things, though, I'd like to change in 2020. There's some goals I've set, and, in order to hit those goals, I feel like I need to maybe do these sets of things. Some of those things I'm off to a great start on, like eating breakfast every day. I'm off to a great start on that. Another one of the sort of goals that I set for myself was to try to get more sleep by not getting involved in some of this late night, whatever you want to call it, that goes on YouTube on some of these channels. And so far, I am failing at that. I will admit. But I'm working on it. And like I said, Wednesday night, if I could go to sleep by 11 or 11:30 every night, I feel like I could be a lot more productive during the day. Because my goal isn't to get more sleep. My goal is to be more productive during the day. So then I have to look at, okay, what can I do to make that happen? There's certain things during the day I can do. I can rearrange. I can get more organized, stuff like that. But part of being more productive during the day, I think, would be, in general, getting a little bit more sleep at night. Now, on Tuesdays and Thursday nights, there's just not a whole lot I can do about that because I'm live streaming till last night, 1 a.m. when the live stream ended. Might have even been a little later than that. And so there's not a whole lot I can do about Tuesdays and Thursdays, but there is a lot I can do about the other 5 nights of the week. So that's something I got to work on. Enrique, do you do New Year's resolutions? Did you and did you set any this year?
I don't actually, because I'm just like every other American in this country, does them for about a couple of days and then calls it quits.
Right.
But I guess one of the things that I want to accomplish this year, so I'll be graduating with my bachelor's degree here in May. But I got my eyes set on law school, so that's kind of, I guess, if you can say, my New Year's resolution. I'm supposed to actually get my LSAT score here tomorrow, so that's pretty nerve-wracking. But I'm hoping I'll be enrolled in law school in the fall.
Outstanding.
What is there a specific what do you have in mind for that law degree?
So obviously I want to be an attorney. Or more so towards criminal law. But I mean, in today's world, there's a lot of things you can do with the JD nowadays than just practice law.
Like sports agent, you can be a sports agent.
Yeah.
Sports agent. A lot of people don't know that, but sports agents have law degrees. I mean, you're dealing with contracts and stuff like that, so it makes sense. But
I was remembering that stream that you were talking about with BBD actually, where you guys were discussing that one attorney. I believe he's in Georgia. That strictly focuses on getting all these waivers for these kids to play at transfer schools or whatever. That's obviously, that guy's got to make a crap load of money.
Yeah. I can't remember his name. I don't think he's from the state of Georgia either, but he tends to represent all the high profile transfer players that are looking to get a waiver. I think he had Tate Martell, he had Justin Fields, he's had several. Who was the one that was it Aubrey Solomon for Tennessee BVD? I think he ended up getting him approved anyway. So yeah, he takes on a lot of those high profile transfers to get their waivers. But I don't know where he's from. He may be from the state of Georgia. I actually don't have any idea. So you're gonna be a lawyer. That's good. I might keep Uncle Lou in mind once you become a practicing attorney.
Absolutely, Lou. If you need a LouTube counsel
Yeah.
to defend you from these annoying troll lawsuits, I got you, Lou.
Eventually, one of these people that says I'm suing you is actually gonna do it. So I'll keep you in mind.
Shout out to SEC Dog in the comments. He's got me all figured out this morning.
What'd he say?
He said BBD not paying attention to Lou as usual. Just say outstanding. Let's see. It scrolled up past where I could see it. Just say outstanding every once in a while and stay in the comment section.
Listen, SEC Dog, BBD is a valuable member of the morning show, and
somebody's got to monitor these guys in the comments.
Let's try to keep that in mind if we can. Let's see, what is this here? Rob W., thank you for the super chat, sir. Really appreciate you supporting the morning show. He says, Lane called his wife, honey, I'm going to be late getting home. Wife says, are you at the strip club again? No, honey, I've been stripped myself. Can you imagine, what if Lane Kiffin and Tom Herman ever ended up on the same staff?
How about Lane Kiffin and Mike Leach and Derek Dooley?
Well, that would just be weird, but Tom Herman and Lane Kiffin are the two playboys of the college football world. Tom Herman can't stay out of the strip club if his life depended on it. Maybe add Hugh Freeze to the list, too. Hugh Freeze, Lane Kiffin, Tom Herman. If they were on the same staff. Holy moly. The debauchery.
Nothing illegal would be going on with those three. Nothing.
So, it's not really much of a story, but kind of like the Iowa State guy. So I live in San Antonio, so Austin's only about an hour away or so, and I have fraternity brothers up there, so I spend a lot of my time up there hanging out with them and whatnot. And they tell me ridiculous stories about football players and the things they do, and I'm actually friends with a girl who's up there in law school. And her cousin's on the football team. He's a defensive tackle. He doesn't play much, though, because he's not disciplined. He doesn't like to work out and whatnot. But, Austin has this infamous, street that's full of just bars. And, of course, all the players go out there and, regardless if they're 21 or not. And they buy their way in because, they're like, oh, I'm a football player. And so, obviously, they let them in, right?
Enrique, you're not suggesting that there would be underage drinking on a college campus, are you?
I would absolutely never insinuate that because okay. I am speaking from a secondhand source here. Not that I witnessed anything myself,
Well, as an aspiring attorney, you might want to keep things like that under your hat.
Well, in this case, so long story short, this individual on the football team actually runs into Tom Herman at the bar with him, and of course, he's trying to hide from Coach because he knows he's not supposed to be there. Well, Coach catches him, tells him, "Hey, if you don't want to be working out extra hard the next day at practice, you better get out of my sight right now." Well, like any other uneducated college student, he decides to stick around, and man, he told me, he's like, that was the worst decision I made in my life. Tom Herman ran the hell out of him at practice the next day.
That dude's probably still running.
He said that never in his life had he suffered to such an extremity, that much pain, and through running that much.
All right, a couple of headlines here. College football news. The numbers are in. It's time to hand out the paychecks here. The crowd of people that falls into the players need to get paid camp are gonna go nuts when they hear this. The SEC handed out checks yesterday to each of their schools for the 2019 season or whatever, fiscal year, whatever. How much?
You're talking bowl checks, right?
No. Total. TV revenue, all that, everything.
Oh, boy.
How much did each school get?
I don't. I wouldn't even know where to take an uneducated guess at that one. I'm just going to throw, 8 million.
Each school, 44.6 million.
Jesus.
That's for 1 year. The Southeastern Conference schools each received more than $44.6 million in total revenue distributed by the league, a seven-figure increase from the previous fiscal year. SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey said Thursday that the league handed out just over $651 million of total revenue among the 14 members for the 2018-2019 fiscal year. That's up from $627 million the period before.
How much of that do you suppose will be mailed to us, Lou? Yeah, that's what I thought your answer would be.
So yeah, I would expect those numbers to kind of be based off of, more or less how you ranked, specifically in the conference, but also nationally speaking. But damn, 44 million across the board.
Yeah, now I'm sure it's, when it's all said and done, not every single school gets exactly the same amount because you have bowl payouts and different things like that based on which bowl you're in. And, you get a bump if you make the playoffs. You get a bump if you win a playoff game. You get a bump if you win a national title. There's a bump for making a New Year's Six bowl versus making the Belk Bowl, whatever. But you're talking about just a couple of $1 million there, I think. So, if the average was 44.6 million, then maybe Vandy got 42 and Alabama got 50, So, I'm just making up those numbers, but 651 million divided up amongst 14. That's like those. That's like when the Powerball gets up to 800 million or something, and everybody, like all 50 people that work in some office will all throw $10 in, and they'll buy 500 tickets, and then they, $800 million split 50 ways or whatever, but no one's complaining. I don't think Vandy would be complaining about their 40 million here.
I was always under the impression that bowl money was shared equally amongst all the conference schools. As far as the rest of it, I don't know. I just thought I had always remembered seeing that because Jason Sturkey made a comment in the comments about Tennessee and Arkansas should get less, and it's funny that he said that because they used to say the same thing about Vanderbilt back in the day when I would see that. I was like, these guys never make it to a bowl game. How come they're getting any of the bowl money? I've never understood.
Yeah, you could be right. Maybe I need to look it up and see. I'm not going to do that right now, but I know the TV money is split equally regardless. It doesn't matter. You can go 0 for 12. Tennessee, you go 4-8, can't win a conference game. Tennessee still gets their TV money. But I'm not
that's
sure.
Good TV, mister.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. And TV money is important to Tennessee since less and less people are actually going to Tennessee games now.
Hashtag facts.
Yeah, averaged 75% attendance for home games last year. Wow.
No, 75,000, sir.
Right, and you hold 100,000, and 75.
We hold 102. That's a little over 75%.
It's actually
a
little under. Thank you. I was giving you the benefit of the doubt and rounded up.
I
since
caught
you
it.
want to be a jackass about it, we'll say 74%.
All right, damn it. It was 79,000. Okay. I know because I'm charged with having to count the people. So, joking aside, did you guys know that when attendance is calculated, they include every living soul in the stadium? That includes band members, referees, press box workers, football players, ushers. Every living human being in the stadium is counted towards attendance.
Makes sense. Just doesn't make any dollars. But I remember this past season, one of these Facebook groups I'm in, that one of these trash talking groups or whatever, somebody posted a screenshot like from StubHub or something where you could get tickets to a Tennessee game for like, I think it was like $5 or something. And all in the comments, people were like, should I go to the Tennessee game this weekend or should I go to McDonald's and get a number one?
No, Jordan, gingers are not counted, by the way.
Celine Driver, thank you for the super chat, sir. He says, can't wait for the 24-hour stream. I will be there. Yeah, it's going to be a good one this year. I'm excited about it. That'll be coming up either the last couple of weeks of April or the first couple of weeks of May. That's when I'm shooting for the 24-hour stream this go round.
What's that about, Lou?
I stream for 24 hours straight.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's amazing. It was a big hit last year.
And none of it is sleep streaming, I don't think, either.
No, I actually stayed awake the entire I think I started streaming at 8 a.m. on like a Saturday morning, and I did end the stream at like 7:30, so I technically cut it, I think, 30 minutes short. But I mean, I was like the Walking Dead out here. No one minded that I went ahead and ended the stream 30 minutes early. But I'll give more details.
Eating at your desk the whole time too?
What?
I'm assuming you were eating at your desk the whole time too.
Yeah, no, I did go in on occasion. Like I had a couple of people call in and like host the show for me for 30 or 45 minutes over the phone. I remember Pigskin Pete called in for a little while, Bad Dog called in for a little while, and like I would go in and maybe, fix myself a sandwich or something like that. But generally speaking, I was sitting right here for the entire 24 hours. Yeah.
You should really consider getting the next door lady to help you out this year, Lou.
Oh, wouldn't that make her day?
Yeah, I mean, she, that way she could come over for a little while, hang out, kind of get educated on what's going on in there, and then maybe she wouldn't get so pissed off at you.
Oh, she would still get pissed off, sir. Let's be real.
Lou, I gotta admit, that is probably by far my best, like my favorite introduction. Whenever you put that, it cracks me up every time.
Oh, have you seen the video?
No, I've just seen that snippet.
Oh.
I haven't seen the actual video.
But that I mean, it's real.
Is it really?
Yeah. Have you ever seen the video I made called, well, you haven't or you see, but there's a video I made called, You're at Georgia Tech, You Can Do That. You should look it up. I know you said you just found me at the beginning of this football season, and this video was a few years old, but when you get a chance over the weekend, go to the channel and type in. I think if you just search Uncle Lou Georgia Tech, it's the first video that comes up. But it's called You Can Do That. And I won't tell you the gist of the video because I think you'll like it when you watch it. But while I'm out here I was out here filming the video, and it was during the summertime, so I had the garage door open, and I'm in here yelling about Georgia Tech. And you can hear it on the video. Some lady from like down the street yells, "Shut the F up." And she yells it. And so I stopped what I was doing because I was like, did I just hear that right or whatever? And then later when I was editing the video to upload it, all that was recorded. Where you can hear the lady yelling that, and then I walk over to the edge of the garage and say, "Nah, lady, you shut the f up. I'm doing LouTube, bitch." And so I decided to include it in the video. Anyway, you'll have to watch it. But it was hilarious. But yeah, that really happened.
Enrique, I just dropped the link to that video in the comments section for you.
Oh,
and anybody else.
I'm definitely gonna watch this.
Yeah, it was really good. There was another time too that someone yelled at me, but I can't remember the details of that one or what video it was in. But it's happened twice where that's happened twice, and I can't remember the video or the details of it happening. Somebody yelled at me, "What are you doing?" one time on another video, and I can't remember which video this one is in. I wish I could. I'd like to add this one as a little clip too, but someone yells at me, "What are you doing?" And I'm just sitting here talking like I am now, and then you hear the, "What are you doing?" And without even missing a beat, I just go, "I'm minding my own effing business. What are you doing?" And that was a pretty good one too. But those are the only two times I think anything like that has happened. Now, my neighbor that lives next door to me called my father-in-law one time and told him he thought I was being verbally abusive to his daughter.
Oh, shit.
He says, I don't know what's going on, but I hear him out in his garage just yelling at her all the time. And my father-in-law just started laughing because he knows what I do out here. And he was like, no, he's not yelling at my daughter. He's out there yelling at his camera. Or yelling at the TV. That was funny too.
Has anyone like actually called the cops on you or whatever to check in and see what's going on?
No, most of the stuff that I'm talking about now happened, like I said, with that Georgia Tech video. It was several years ago, and a thing with my neighbor calling my father-in-law, I think that was like 4 years ago. And so now, I live in a cul-de-sac, so I only really have 2 neighbors anyway that are close enough to hear what I do in here. And
okay.
they all know what I do now, so they don't think much. They don't think much of it. There's been a couple of times where Georgia has played night games, and I've been out here, and it's like 10:30 or 11, and I'm yelling and screaming. But at least it's on a Saturday night. Maybe if I was doing that like on random Wednesdays every other week, I was just out here yelling at midnight Wednesday nights or something. Maybe they would have something to say, but they find a way to deal with it. I mean, what other option do they have? Let's get caught up on these super chats and that. I don't want everybody to all talk at once. So, yeah. What does this say now? Celine Driver, thank you again, sir. He says, I'll be the official watch consultant for Lou and BVD. BVD, do you need a watch consultant?
Sorry, Lou, I was having a little bit of a cough and sneeze attack. I had to go on mute there for a second. No, I do not need a watch consultant, but if I ever did, Celine Driver would definitely be number one on my list.
Does BVD wear a watch?
Yes, he does.
You want to tell us about it?
Sure. It's a lovely 2014 model Timex, complete with analog and a beautiful Tennessee Power T backing.
And if you were to look at that watch right now, would it have the accurate time on it?
Yes, it would.
Now, that's amazing. I probably have a dozen watches, not a single one of them. Half of them don't even work, and the other half do not have the accurate time. I don't wear a watch for the time. I have a watch on now. I just wear it out of habit, and I just like wearing watches. But according to my watch right now, it is 1:08.
Well, it may be 1:08 somewhere in the world, just not in Georgia or Tennessee.
His watch is right twice a day.
Yeah, probably not in Florida either.
Enrique, do you wear a watch?
One word, sir. Outstanding. But yeah, I do. I wear one of those Apple Watches.
Okay, yeah.
Not a fan though, to be honest.
Yeah, my kids got Apple Watches for Christmas this past year. So
That's pretty cool. You guys got Apple Watch. I got an orange watch. There you go.
Well,
I will say though, I'm becoming more and more a watch person now than I have in the past. But I'm still one of those guys that I'll pull out my fancy watch or whatever for special occasions. But on a daily basis, yeah, I mean it's just Apple Watch. But like I said, I really don't have a use for it other than just counting my steps and that stuff.
counting your steps. Well, that's important. When you lay your head down at night, you need to know how many steps you took. So that makes perfect sense to me.
Does it count calories also?
Yeah.
Enrique?
Yeah. I mean, probably my biggest pet peeve about this watch is when it tells me to take a deep breath, because it can feel when I get agitated.
Oh
it's
my
like,
God.
Take a deep breath.
I
That's what
wouldn't
pisses me
last
off.
5 seconds with a watch telling me to take a deep breath and calm down and relax. Zero chance
okay.
of that. None.
If
So
my
you
watch ever talks to me, it's definitely going out the back door and getting a good lashing.
So Enrique, knowing that how valuable it is to you to have a watch that tells you how many steps you took during the day, I'm curious how your keto diet is working out.
Oh man, me diet? No, thank you. I took the freshman 15 to a whole different level, man.
Right. Well, let's double
Yeah,
up. Let's listen. I'm going to ask you about this again I'll give you till May. Let's get those steps doubled, buddy.
All right.
All right. You're good people.
Is Enrique a pretty healthy guy? Do you eat healthy? Do you stay physically fit? Do you work out? So on and so forth.
I don't. obviously in high school was a different thing. In high school I was prime shape, you know, busy playing athletics and, all that good stuff. But college rolls around, my time management goes out the window. I can't get on a fixed schedule because I always have something going on, and I never just make time for it. But that is one of my things. Kind of going back to those New Year resolutions. That's just one of those things that I need to make time for, and I want to. It's just unfortunately it's not high on my priority list.
Rob wants to know how many steps a day you're taking on average.
Oh, that's a good question. It honestly just depends. Because like for example, I know Lou. I said in my email, but I typically work overnight, and I'm a security officer. I'm driving around for the most part, but there's times where I have to walk around and go up steps and whatnot. So I realistically I'm not too sure how many I would take a day off the top of my head.
However many it is, I can guarantee you that it's way more than me, without a doubt. BVD, I have some alarming news. I'm not sure if, it could be that I'm to blame for this because of how well the show started today. Mm-hmm. We can blame ENRIQUE, maybe, I don't know. Or we can do what we normally do and blame you, but there's 125 people watching and 29 likes. So,
yeah, something's desperately wrong with that. What's wrong with you people?
Yeah,
you should be ashamed of yourself.
I'm gonna take the blame for this one because I did screw up. I did screw up the beginning of the show and then tried to call the wrong person to be on as a guest.
Well, I mean, in the comments, Lou, I was like, he's like, oh yeah, Terrence Five's gonna be on today. And I was like, thought it was my day.
Listen, I was up till like 2-something in the morning. I had to get up at 6 to get the kids ready for school. And, I'm rushing to get out here to do this thing. And for some reason, I didn't look. This is a calendar, a day-by-day calendar book here. And I have every guest that's currently scheduled written down on the day that they're going to be on the show with their phone number so I can call them and patch them in. I didn't even look at the book. I just had it in my mind for some reason that Tyrants 5 was the guest today. I don't know. Maybe he's the last person I scheduled, and so he was on my mind for some reason. So when I came out here this morning and started the show, I literally just went to my email, did a search for Tyrants 5, and that's the number. I found the number, and that's the number. And I said, okay, it's Tyrants 5. Put him in the title. I had the number ready to go to dial and all. And I don't know what I was thinking. So that would explain the lack of likes on the video. So I'll take the blame for that. In fact, go ahead and just give this video a thumbs down, if you would.
Actually, Lou, they should be giving it a thumbs up because you did manage to change the title. So, I mean, that's good for something, right? You get brownie points for that. Or like points or something.
Nah, and I mean, it's all right, Lou. Like I said, everyone makes mistakes, so it's not a big deal. I did tag a link in the comments, and I know it's probably not viewable or whatever, but it was something I came across last night after the game. So Jake Fromm went on this pretty popular Instagram page called The Checkdown, and he started talking about, I don't know, I don't remember you talking about this in any of your videos, but I'm sure you probably noticed that he has this tendency to flip around the football in his hand while he's dropping back to pass. And I don't know, for whatever reason, I just found it interesting because it's Jake Fromm, and you like to ride his back for his inabilities to be an elite quarterback. And so I don't know. I figured you'd get a kick out of it if you got a chance to watch it.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to. I might have to go to meetings or something. I don't know, to try to get over my disappointment in Jake Fromm. We'll see. Shane Bentley, thank you for the super chat. He says, I still sport my Rugrats watch I got in a McDonald's Happy Meal. Hashtag 90s cartoons are better.
I do agree with that statement, even though I was born at the tail end of 99 or at 90.
Cartoons just aren't what they used to be. That is a true statement there. Rob D, thank you for the super chat. He says, UGA is undefeated in T-Town this century. Truer words have never been spoken.
I got something very important to say.
Uh-oh.
Outstanding.
Yeah. Now you can
Just
go
doing
back.
my part.
Yeah, now you can go back to sleep. We'll wake you up in 5 minutes. You can say that again. Jason Sturkey says, What about the Bugnan? Bugnan? I have no idea what that is. So he says, what about the Bugnan?
What is that?
You guys know what he's talking about?
Who said that, Lou?
Jason Sturkey.
I'm looking for it.
Was it a super chat or just?
Oh, it's a super chat. It's from.
What about the UNCLELOU?
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
Maybe you can clarify.
Yeah, Jason, and you don't have to send another super chat, but if there's something I'm not getting about that, just type it into regular comments. One of the three of us will see it.
Bugman, maybe? What about the Bugman, Lou?
Yeah, sometimes maybe were we talking about something a little while ago that had to do with Bugmanses or something? I don't know.
He said sorry to Exterminator just a few comments back, so it had to be Bugman. I don't know.
Oh! I know what he's talking. He was that was when I was talking about the neighbors and all that. Yeah, one of the first times I did the morning show, it was the first or second week I had started the morning show. Our exterminator guy, we have an extermination service or whatever. They come once every 30 days. He came while I was doing the morning show, and I told him, I said, look, I'm out in the garage working, just do what you need to do, but I can't be bothered. And I came back out here and started talking again, and then like 5 minutes later, the idiot starts knocking on the garage door, and I got up and yelled at him. I said, spray the yard and leave, or whatever. I said, oh, yeah, I know what he's talking about now. Bugman, you're right. It was Bugman, but
I think it should be noted that the perceived big dummy in the room, BBD, is the one that figured that out. So I think everyone in the comments owes me an apology. I'll accept that ahead of time. So go ahead and save yourself the trouble, folks, and we'll just say outstanding.
Yeah, that is outstanding. There's little to no doubt about that. Ruben says, Lou, you ought to have a best of LouTube stream. Now, I do last year when I did the 24-hour stream, I did a lot of that because let's be real, when you stream for 24 hours, you're looking for lots of different ways to kill time. Mm-hmm. So I went back during that 24-hour stream last year, I went back on my channel and played a couple of videos from like every year that I've been doing LouTube. And trust me when I tell you that when I do the 24-hour stream this year, there will be a lot of that too, because I'm looking for anything I can do during that 24-hour stream to take up 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever. So that's a good idea to do again on the 24-hour streams. Thank you for the super chat, Ruben. Slim Shady with a super chat. I don't think there are enough Miami YouTube channels. I think I'm going to start one too. There are more Miami YouTube channels than any other team, and it's not even close. There's got to be 6 or 7 of them now. Y'all notice that? Y'all awake? Is anybody?
I was kind of taken aback by Rubber Nose comment here, but I'm not going to read it until you read Ballard's super chat there. I'll just do that. Thanks for the super chat, Ballard Sports Media. It says Alabama gets another tough schedule, but who has Georgia played?
Who have they played? Well, we don't play nobody this year. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
I'll go out on a limb here for Jarvis and say that Southern Cal might actually pull off the miracle and beat Alabama in Week 1 in Arlington.
And a lot of Southern Cal fans that day.
Sir.
And I might just have to settle for an ultimate troll wager.
That ain't no limb you're on. That's a cracked twig, buddy. And from what you were telling me earlier about the freshman 15 that you've gained, I suggest you back up off of that thing.
There might be Alabama fans in the comments section, Lou, so please be careful how you throw the word crack around.
I'm just hell, I ain't no Alabama fan, and I don't got no reason to hate Southern Cal, but Does anybody want to
Yeah.
go through the scores of Alabama's games in week 1 against non-con teams over the last 10 years? They've won by an average of about 5 touchdowns, and I don't see much reason why this would be any
they played
different.
Southern Cal. I want to say it was 3, maybe 4 years ago.
Yeah, wasn't it like
And
52
they
to
just walked all over.
It was like
They
52
walked all
to
over Southern
3.
Cal.
Yeah, it was like 52 to 3 or something. They beat y'all. I mean, people will watch it. I'll say this: that's a much more interesting game than Alabama versus Duke, like we had last year. So, you know, it is what it is, I guess. I don't know. Waikiki, what's up, Lou, BVD, and guest? Thank you for the super chat, Waikiki. Guest, do you want to tell Waikiki what's up since he asked?
How's it going, Waikiki? I enjoy seeing you in the comments when I'm tuning in as well.
Yeah, West Virginia fan there. Waikiki. I've never been to West Virginia, but I do have some in-laws that are from there. My Mrs. Lou's dad was born in West Virginia and still has some family up there, but I've never got a chance to get up there, unfortunately. So either
Enrique, do you happen to know the Southern Cal versus Tennessee head-to-head record? I know this. I'm curious if you do.
I don't actually.
Well, you'll be pleased to know, and this will probably make the rest of your life much more enjoyable. You guys are 4-0 against Tennessee. Lifetime.
Wow.
Yep. I can actually remember 2 of those. But
so now BVD, that means a lot more. And this is no disrespect to Tennessee, but this means a lot more now than when it did when I first tuned into YouTube. Because I remember, I think you guys had just lost to BYU or were just about to play BYU.
mm-hmm.
And then I ended up watching the reaction video to that from Lou or something, and he pretty much said that at that point, like, y'all season was done. And you know, my hat goes off to Tennessee because your Lou at that point was like, oh, you guys aren't gonna win a single game at this point if you couldn't win your 2 non-conference to Georgia State and BYU. And hats off to you guys. Y'all made a bowl, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think y'all won it too, right? And so, obviously that means a lot more now than what it did back then.
I'm here to help. I do have a little bit more of a job than just saying outstanding to do here on this show, and I'm working on it. And filling you in on your all-time record versus Tennessee is just one of my very many important duties here on the show. I got a question too for this person you're calling Waikiki. Now, is that Lou? Is that just you calling him that?
Yes.
The way you like to? Okay.
Yes.
I wondered.
When he first started watching this channel and commenting, you know how it is when you're live streaming BVD. You don't see every comment, and then even the comments you do see, sometimes it's just like a glancing view that you get. And for some reason, when I first saw his name, I actually thought it said Waikiki. And so,
it does.
And so I was carrying on with him in the comments and calling him Waikiki over and over without actually looking at his name. And by the time I did and realized, okay, that doesn't say Waikiki, it was one of those things where it was just too late to turn around at that point. So, and that was years ago. And so I've just been calling him Waikiki, and he doesn't mind. It's not an insult. It is.
Probably considers it an honor, to be honest.
I would imagine. Like so
Jake Fromm.
Yeah, I got a Christmas card from Jack Fromm thanking me for calling him Jack Fromm. So, because you know what it is, he's sick and tired of the whole Jake Fromm State Farm thing. So by me calling him Jack Fromm, because who's gonna say, "Hi, I'm Jack Fromm from State Farm"? Like that? No, like who would do that?
Doesn't make sense, does it?
No. So he actually is very happy. Then I went ahead and did that. One thing he's not happy about is his plummeting draft stock.
I see somewhere back in the chat section here, someone said that he's working on running his 40. Was that a troll job, or is he really going to run the 40 in the combine?
I don't think he should even go to the combine. And if he does, he ought not do anything other than the team interviews, and the Wonderlic test. That's all he should do. There's just nothing else at the combine that suits, like, the combine tests measurables and tangibles. He doesn't have any of those. The positives that Jake Fromm does have are intangible and unmeasurable. Leadership skills, ability to learn playbooks, all that. They don't test for that at the combine. They test 40 time, shuttle time, bench press, vertical. Is he really going to get out there next to Jacob Eason, Tua, Jordan Love, Jalen Hurts, and throw the ball? Jesus.
Well,
I hope
according
not.
to a couple of people in the comments section, the statement is true. His target time is 4.8.
Well, he was clocked coming out of high school at 4.79. So
that further proof that going to Georgia just slows you down.
I
take shots when they're available. You have to when you're a Tennessee
The longer
fan.
we talk about Jake Fromm, the more shots you're going to take. Then let's move on before I get my own self in trouble in that too. And also, in addition to that, as well, better start reading some of these super chats too. And also, Brad Horn, thank you for the super chat. He says, "Good morning. Just curious how hard you had to slap that troll's mama because his room wasn't clean by the end of the game last night." Brad, nothing could be further from the truth. I went in, and guess what? That idiot troll had cleaned that room top to bottom just like Uncle Lou told him to. You could have eaten off of his floor. That's how clean it was. He knew what time it was. Thank you for the super chat. And his mama was thankful, too, because I didn't have to slap the ugly off of her, which was really a benefit and a win for everyone involved. Thank you for the super chat. Celine Driver says, Bugs Bunny show on Saturday ruled and was not PC. You can find a lot of things, and that's true of anything, not just cartoons, but it's true of cartoons too. There were cartoons and movies and TV shows and all that things were okay to do or say back then that you could never get away with now. Going back to like the 70s, what was that Archie Bunker show, BVD? I know you know that one.
All in the Family.
All in the Family. A TV show like that wouldn't even get greenlit today. Like, it would never make it like, a network would look at that and go, what? No. No.
Yeah, with all the racism on All in the Family, there's no way that show would see
He was
the day
so
of the light of day.
racist.
Yeah.
He was anti-Semitic. Do you remember the one of the best episodes though, when George Jefferson showed up at his house, knocked on his door,
Yep.
kissed him on the cheek? That was good.
That specific episode is the entire reason the Jefferson Show was a spinoff.
Yeah, that was great. But yeah, and All in the Family was a great show, but it would never make it to TV today. It just, the idea would get shut down. Right? Hey, I got this idea for a TV show. There's this old white guy. He treats his wife like shit. He makes fun of his son-in-law. He's racist. He hates Jews and Mexicans. And he sits in a recliner and talks about how much he hates all those people. We want to put it on Thursday nights at 8:30. No, not gonna happen.
It's really kind of amazing that it was accepted back then.
Yeah. Or you remember Gilligan's Island?
Of course.
Yeah. Every time there was a bad guy on Gilligan's Island, who was it? It was a black guy. Every single time it was a black guy running around with a palm leaf covering his penis up. Every time. That's
never realized or noticed that.
Yeah, there were so they were on an abandoned island supposedly, but there were natives or whatever that lived on the island, and it was
the headhunters.
Yeah.
The headhunters.
Yeah. And somehow Gilligan, the dumbest TV character in the history of mankind, was able to outsmart the headhunters every single time. He's, who of course was running around with face paint and, a coconut covering up their nuts, and that's literally it. It was just Jesus, like, what are we doing here?
Hey,
Okay.
Lou, your best friend appeared in the comments.
Ooh, the ultimate moron?
The one and only.
Ultimate moron. Learn them lyrics, buddy. Learn them lyrics.
Did he have anything awe-inspiring to say, Enrique?
He's just saying to let him call in. Let me call in, Lou.
Oh. Yeah, see.
Dude,
And he wants attention. He's like, make sure Lou notices me.
he's in math class. How are you going to call in? Stop it. Ultimate moron. Quit. Quit while you're behind, buddy. My God.
Ultimate, if the
What a
ultimate
waterhead.
moron wants to be around people his equal, he should definitely be tuning in to the live streams that I do.
Oh, God. He would love the comment section on those BVD night streams, wouldn't he?
Mm-hmm.
When are those? Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays?
Diversity at its best, yes. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday at 8 o'clock. But we'll deal with that later. I was just thinking, morons.
I'm the ultimate waterhead. I'm gonna type in Uncle Lou's stream. I'm the ultimate waterhead.
Do you remember Snake Plissken, Lou?
Snake. What?
Snake Plissken. Do you remember that name
No.
from the movies?
Should I?
Oh, okay. It's Kurt Russell, Escape from New York and Escape from L.A.
Okay.
Somebody in the comments was talking about Kurt Russell because I just saw Captain Ron and Snake Plissken. That's some must-see TV right there, man, if you haven't seen Escape from New York.
I've seen Escape from New York. I know what Captain Ron is, but I don't know that I've seen that. And if I have, it's probably one of those things where I only saw it once a long, long time ago, so I don't remember much about it, but I'm not sure.
Oh, it's one of Kurt Russell's best/worst movies ever. And then he followed it up with Escape from LA, which was like 20 times worse than Escape from New York.
Ballard, thank you for the super chat. Alabama gets another tough schedule. BVD, you read that one earlier. But who have Georgia played? Who they play? Well, they ain't playing nobody. Yep, not playing anybody this year either. Especially in week 3.
Come on. He claims he's at home.
Does he think
he's
this
all
is
the
a
pieces,
call-in
isn't he, Enrique?
show? Does he think this is a call-in show or something?
He must.
I should have
He's
stopped
like, I
after
dual enroll, so I don't have morning classes now. Let me call in.
I should have stopped after the first 3 words of that last sentence I just said. Does he think?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know.
I'm the ultimate waterhead. I'm the ultimate waterhead. Hey, Georgia's not even going to have a top 5 class. I'm the ultimate waterhead. Every time I call in, I own you, Lou. Look at my head, Lou. Look at all this water in my head. I'm the ultimate waterhead. Learn the lyrics, dipshit. I can't wait.
How can he be a waterhead and a potato at the same time? He's like dual purpose guy.
Sir, potatoes are 90% water.
Oh wow. Let me call in, losers. Y'all are skated.
This guy. For those that don't know, the Ultimate Waterhead made a bet with Uncle Lou a couple of weeks ago that Georgia would not finish with a top 5 class. That his idea. He called up the night show. He called up the nighttime show, drooled into his phone for 5 minutes, saying a bunch of stuff that nobody understood. And then he goes, but I bet you Georgia won't even finish with a top 5 class. Georgia was ranked 3rd at the time. Of course, fast forward to today, they're ranked number 1. And the bet was, if he's wrong, he has to call me up on the night show and sing me the morning song. Hashtag learn the lyrics. Watermelon head.
He's
like, yelling.
Your guest on the show.
He's yelling, ain't he, Enrique?
Let him keep going. I'm not even looking at the comments.
If you would like to be a guest on the morning show with Lou and BBD, simply email us.
What's the email?
What's the email? We might get you on here. Lou, it's Lou and BVD at gmail.com.
Man, that's right. Lou and BVD at Gmail.
It's real simple.
It's real simple, even for a waterhead.
You just know what I'm gonna say this time. I'm gonna own your ass.
I'm not.
Well,
I'm not allowed to email strangers on the internet. I'm just the ultimate waterhead. My
Lou,
mom would kill me.
Are you scared, bitch? Lou, are you scared, bitch?
Learn the lyrics.
You're scared.
My mama said YouTube the devil.
Football is the devil. So is Lou.
Waikiki says everyone has a winning record against UT. No, that can't be true. That can't be true. I mean, Georgia does.
Yeah, Georgia does actually have a winning record over Tennessee thanks to this last year.
Yeah.
Georgia State definitely doesn't have a winning record over Tennessee, though, right? That was just like a one and done deal.
No, that was just wrong, Enrique. See, and I like you, man. I really did. Actually, we're 1-1.
I wasn't throwing shade there, man. I was being honest.
Now we beat them a couple years ago.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't that bad.
It was bad. That wasn't that bad of a loss. They made a bowl game. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
At least they didn't.
Yeah.
At least we didn't lose to. At least we didn't lose to USC Junior.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sir, you're 1-7 against Will Muschamp. Stop it.
That's okay. I don't care.
That's part of the problem. If you think that's okay, then that tells us a lot. Let me get back to these super chats before I don't want to argue with you about every. Okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead. These super chats are far more important than Tennessee's record against Will Muschamp,
which is 1-7, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Slim Shady, thank you for the super chat this morning, sir. He says, by the way, Lou, thanks for telling me about the pine cone. I didn't know about it before you told me. I must be doing something right with my life. The pine cone is interesting to me. He's an interesting character. What's his YouTube name? T2Y exclusive or something like that. He's one of these Miami video makers. I don't understand. I don't know if you know BVD. I mean, we all know Afrojack, but there's like 9. There's like 9 Miami video makers now. It's unreal.
And only one of them's. Well, I'm not going to say that.
I like a couple of them. I like a couple of them. I actually like the pine cone. Like the pine cone knows how to edit video. He edits. He can edit a little bit. He's low energy, but nobody's perfect. But like, I enjoy his videos, and even when he made a couple of videos about me too. But he does it the right way. He keeps it mostly football related, or the jokes that he makes are, jokes that are acceptable, so I went back and forth with him a little bit. He seems like a pretty good guy. But I don't understand, man. These Miami video makers are popping up like weeds. Need some Roundup. Anyway.
Vodka drinker, sir. I don't know how to address this. No, I did not just say Georgia State was a good loss. However, since you brought it up, it was definitely a smart loss because, look at how much better the end of the year looks for Tennessee now after that devastating start. There's an upside to everything. Every cloud has a silver lining, sir.
That is true. Always look on the bright side.
Jordan Bowman says that Clemson's lost to USC Junior 42 times, so don't feel bad.
From's middle finger has blessed us with a super chat this morning. Thank you, From's middle finger. He says is Traveler Enrique's favorite horse?
I must say I'm not familiar with who Traveler is, but I'm gonna go on a limb here and say no.
Uh-oh.
I'm not even sure what that means.
I'm pretty sure that is Southern Cal's horse.
Oh, that would make sense.
This is alarming, to say the least, Enrique.
Oh, you're absolutely right. My bad. I was hoping, or I wasn't hoping, but I was thinking it was something else.
Now, let me ask you this. Speaking of Traveler, Southern Cal's horse, the person what rides that horse?
The name?
Southern Cal is the Trojans. Trojan, of course, Troy, European. I'm guessing that since the Trojans, Troy, was white people, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the guy that rides Traveler, what dresses up like a Trojan soldier, I'm going to guess he's a Native American that's dressed up like a white guy.
It's actually there's two riders this season. There's a white guy and there's a Latino.
It's not a Native American dressed up like a white guy?
No, it's Chuck O'Donnell and Hector Aguilar.
Well, because Florida State also has a horse. What name? Renegade, I think. And of course, Florida State's mascot is the Seminoles, which is a Native American tribe. And they have a white guy what's dressed up like an Indian on their horse. But so you're telling me Southern Cal's horse is which y'all are the Trojans. The Trojans were white people, but y'all actually found an actual white person to portray a white person?
I mean, I guess so. I mean, in Southern Cal specifically, white people aren't that hard to find. But it definitely is densely more Hispanic based in Southern Cal than.
Do you think in Florida, a state with multiple Seminole reservations, Seminoles are hard to find?
No, but I got a feeling, and this goes back to an argument that I remember hearing in school when there was that whole movement to having, Native American-based mascots changed. I feel like it might have to go back to something like that, where maybe the Seminole tribes just didn't want to because, I don't know, maybe they found it insulting or X, Y, or Z reason.
As far as I know, the Seminole tribes is fine with what Florida State's doing. It just doesn't make any sense to me not to have an actual engine. I don't understand why you have to pick a white frat boy, and dress him up like the white Tonto. It just doesn't. And then he comes out there with that flaming toothpick, throws it into the ground. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, get a real engine up on that horse. It just makes sense to me.
Well, since you're talking about mascots that make no sense, have you guys ever seen the African American leprechaun at Notre Dame?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I mean it kind of blew my mind the first time I saw that. I mean, I suppose it's possible that there are African American leprechauns, but every leprechaun I've ever seen in my life was a little short redheaded thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's definitely some mascot issues out there.
It's 2020 though, BVD, and I guess now it's socially acceptable to have distorted versions of, I don't want to say historical figures, but just I guess mascots in a sense.
Well, Notre Dame is woke. That's what it is. Let me see here what we have here and that too, and also with whatever this is.
They're woke, but they're not back yet.
Rob D, thank you for the super chat, sir. He says Lou Fromm went on NFL Network and said he was doing all the workouts and he's been working on his footwork. I don't know. Was he not? Anyway, good luck to. I wish him good luck. I don't not like him, so I wish him good luck. I'm just saying. I don't know how it's going to benefit him to run the 40 in the shuttle drill. I don't know. We'll see. But thank you for the super chat, Rob D. Waikiki again with the super chat. Thank you to BVD. Have you ever rode the river to a UT game?
I'm I can say with pretty much a great deal of certainty that no, I have never rowed a boat. Period. Let alone to a Tennessee game.
So you've never been a member of the volunteer Navy?
I didn't say that.
Oh, so have you like?
I've just never rowed a boat to a game
Right.
before.
For those that don't know, there's a river. What is it? The Tennessee River?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Tennessee River, Fort
Runs-
Loudon Lake, whatever you want to call it.
And it runs. Does it run? How close is it to the state? I know it's pretty close. Is it literally like right next to?
Yeah, it's right there at the stadium.
And of course, everyone knows what tailgating is. So at Tennessee games, a lot of people will anchor their boats or dock their boats in the river right there by the stadium. And there's a bunch of like, I don't know if they call it tailgating or something different, but it takes place on boats right there at the stadium, right? Have you ever done that?
I have not. I've actually been down there twice, I think, at the Ball Navy, but I've never actually hung out and boat gated with those people.
Yeah.
Fine people, by the way.
Baylor has a similar situation. There's a river that runs right by their stadium too.
Are you sure about that? I know Washington. It's just always been kind of widely known that Washington and Tennessee are the only two stadiums accessible by river, which I don't know why they say that, because Ohio Stadium has the Scioto River that runs right beside the stadium. So I don't know why they say that. Maybe it's just that Tennessee and Washington are the only two that have like the whole boating to the stadium thing. It's pretty cool, though, any way you look at it.
Yeah.
But I did not know that about Baylor.
Yeah, it's definitely true. I'm pulling up some pictures now, but and their stadium is almost an island. I mean, the river wraps right around it.
Who, Baylor's?
Yeah, Baylor.
Wow, I got to see their stadium a couple years ago when I was on the Round the Country in 24 Days tour with Catfish, and I remember driving by the stadium on the interstate, and coming from the north, it literally looks like you're about to drive through that stadium when you're on the interstate until you get right up to it, and then it kind of veers around.
It's a sight to see, man. That stadium is really nice.
It is. It's, you know what I'm talking about then when you're driving up to it on the interstate.
So you were that close to it and didn't realize that there was a river that literally encircled half the stadium?
No.
Must have been one of those things where you were just sitting there, and like every 5 minutes you would say outstanding.
Yeah, well, no, actually, if you've never been out west, which I only have one time, we must have crossed over a half a dozen rivers where there was literally no water in it. And I'm not saying that's what the case was.
Oh, okay.
You know, in Waco that day, I'm just saying we'd pass over these things. You're crossing the blah, blah, blah river, and there was literally not a drop of water, or even what looked like a canal for a river. So I guess those are there for when they have rainy season and floods and stuff like that. But no, I did not notice that, Lou. Thank you for pointing that out.
Slim Shady agrees that Florida State should hashtag get a real engine. And he's a Miami. I actually have to give him credit. I know I got the flaming toothpick line from him, and I might have stole white Tonto from him too. I honestly can't remember if I came up with white Tonto myself or got it from him, but I know I got the flaming toothpick line from him, and I use it literally every time I talk about Florida State now on a video. I do the whole white Tonto throwing the flaming toothpick into the ground thing, and it makes Florida State fans real mad, which is obviously why I keep doing it. So, you know,
chief of staff. I've seen that term for Miami. Yes, Ed Reed is the chief of staff at the U. I've never heard the term chief of staff when used in reference to college football. So
nor has
anything I can think of.
Nor has anyone else.
Do what?
Neither has anyone else. No one's ever heard of that before.
I can only assume that chief of staff at Miami means there's some guy in charge of infectious diseases, maybe, or I don't know. Maybe they'll figure out a job for him later on. But congratulations You know, the youth were getting Ed Reed back. Ed Reed is the GOAT. So,
Lou is
at
the big
Miami.
dummy commented on this yet by saying that the U is back and that they finally got what they needed to get a natty next year or not?
Miami?
Yeah,
That
with getting Ed Reed as chief of staff.
Yeah, that was there was only two things Miami was missing. Whoever Lashley is as an offensive coordinator, check, and hire Ed Reed for a pointless, meaningless position that no one's ever heard of before. Check, check. So it's official now, 15-0. The U is back.
I hate to give the ultimate troll any more attention, but I'm going to because he's put this comment in here like 10 times now. BBD or whoever else is on, tell Lou that you can't say Bo Nix is trash, but then call Jake Fromm decent when they had the exact same stats. I have never heard anyone call Jake Fromm decent. Certainly, at least of all, Uncle Lou. So I don't know what the basis of that.
I think he's referring back to that night of that Georgia wasn't going to be a top 5 recruiting class. He's making a lot of the same arguments from that night that I remember. But Colonel is just kind of spitting stats at him left and right. Ultimate Troll has to resort to the great 2010 numbers, I guess.
Of course, Fromm won his division 100% of the time. Ho Nix has won his division 0% of the time.
And I think Colonel put in there something about how Jake Fromm actually helped Georgia make it to the Natty his freshman year, but Bo Nix hasn't done anything as a freshman quarterback.
Let's see. Jake Fromm was at Georgia for 3 years, played Auburn 4 times, beat them 3 times. That's a 75% winning percentage. Bo Nix is winless against Georgia. That's a 0% winning percentage. So, hold on. I'm getting a text message. Who's this from now? Oh, I just got a text message from Captain Obvious. It says Bo Nix is trash.
Wonder who that's from.
Waikiki says worst mascot is he says Hookie, but I think he means Hokie. Waikiki's a West Virginia fan, so I think he's making fun of Virginia Tech here with the whole Hokie. It was explained to me before what a Hokie is. Is it some kind of a turkey or something, or some kind of I don't know. Did any of y'all know off the top of your head what a Hokie is? It's been explained to me before, but I can't remember.
Gobbler is all I know.
I think it is something like that, yeah. It is weird.
Sarah Walker makes the best comment so far this morning. She said, where's it at? BB Lee, let's all admit Bo Nix, Jake Fromm, and Jarrett Garantano are all elite SEC quarterbacks.
Good Lord.
I don't know if that's
She's
the
right.
best comment or the most alarming.
She's absolutely right. Clearly, she knows her stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, too. Celine Driver says, I thought you got flaming toothpick for me. Maybe I did. I could be crediting the wrong person there. I know I got it from somebody who hates Florida State. So it was either a Miami fan or a Florida fan. So if it was you and I gave credit to Slim, I apologize, sir. But I definitely stole the flaming toothpick line from somebody, for sure. Nature Boy says, Troll says the wins don't factor into his argument. Because they can't. Bo Nix doesn't have any wins over Georgia. You can't factor wins into his argument. I'm the ultimate waterhead.
He's like the little boy that, the little engine that could, isn't he? He just tries and tries with all his might.
Hey, Lou, let me pick your brain here really quick.
Right.
When did you start doing college football YouTube?
I started YouTube in 2014, and I did my first college football video like 6 months after I started my channel. And then for about a year after that, I did some college football videos and some other type of videos. And then I think probably about halfway through the 2015 season is when I just went like 100% college football.
Okay, so you might remember this then. At BDD, I don't know, because it was big news here in San Antonio because it was a local boy. But this was in 2014. This was my freshman year of high school. He was, if I'm not mistaken, actually a 5-star recruit out of my high school, and he committed to LSU. Trey Leal Matafau.
What'd you just call me?
So he played high school ball here with me, and then he committed to LSU. He had offers from all over the country, and he picked LSU. And this kid shows up to summer camp and gets kicked off the team like 2 weeks later. And obviously that kid had high potential, and he was projected to go to the league and all this good stuff. And I was just wondering, I don't know if you remember, because this was roughly around the same time that you started doing college football.
I can't even say outstanding to that. Sorry, Enrique. My mutt has me
okay.
preoccupied here.
No, he went and ruined his life. A few months later, he transferred to some community college in Southern Cal and met up with some dude that used to play at Southern Cal as well, and they ended up both getting arrested, and now they're both locked up for felony Grand Theft Auto or something like that.
Lou, you want to take that one?
All I heard was you balling up pieces of paper. Not Enrique, but BVD. So I'm just going to be honest. I couldn't follow that story.
Balling up pieces of paper. You're hearing things now, sir. I was on mute.
Oh, well, no.
Which I know a lot of people wish that was the case 24 hours a day, but
I'll be honest, Enrique. When you called me a Lufa or whatever you called me, I had a hard time paying attention after that.
No, I was pronouncing his name, but no, it's fine.
Oh.
Like I said, this was in 2014, so it was, 6 years ago now. So
at least he didn't call you a Tua Tabaga Baga.
Yeah. Well, he don't speak pineapple. I'm pretty sure.
Does he speak pine cone?
The pine cone is great. Nature Boy says trolls. Oh, I already said Mary. What does that say? No, not Mary. Mini trades. Mini trades. Thank you for the super chat, sir. Don't forget, when you send a super chat, there is another line there for you to type in a comment or a message if you want to. So I thank you for the super chat, and you don't have to type a comment in, but sometimes people are unsure how the super chats work when they try it or something. So if you were unaware, I just wanted to let you know if you decide to do the super chat again, and there's a particular comment or question that you have. Make sure you look for that spot on the super chat screen to let you type that comment in, and I will read it and respond appropriately or inappropriately.
Inappropriately, that's my job.
Oh, I had this. Where is that thing? I had something I wanted to show Ultimate Troll. I thought about it last night when we were talking about him singing that song. What the hell is it?
He's trying to get me or BVD's attention by saying to tell you that Fromm had a better O-line and pieces around him, and that's what made him better than Bo Nix or whatever.
Oh, I definitely agree that Georgia has a way better team than Auburn. No argument here.
Can't have a double standard clown.
Oh, here it is. I found it. Yeah, I found it yesterday for Ultimate Waterhead. Here it is. Look at this. Hold on, I'm getting it. Hold on. I'm the Ultimate Waterhead. Oh, man. BVD, do you remember when you were 14?
Oh, yeah, vaguely.
You know what's funny?
It was an important time, wasn't it?
I should go back and find from when it was like 2 years ago he used to call in all the time. And I guess it was about a year ago he called in and his voice had finally changed. His balls finally dropped. I think that was the beginning of last season. It was hilarious. I was proud of him,
It's important when your nuts finally drop.
That's pretty much been the highlight of his time here on LouTube was when he called in that one time, and I noticed and pointed out that his balls had dropped.
I'm just now seeing. Oh, I'm just now seeing on the video your gift that you pulled out from underneath the table.
Yeah, I found that last night, and I said, man, I got to show the ultimate waterhead. He'll really appreciate this.
Yeah, you had 2 of them too, man. That was nice. I guess that's a double standard, isn't it?
I don't know. Oh, double. Yeah, double. I see what you did there, sir. I see what you did there. How did we make it 2 hours?
It's amazing. I guess we owe it all to Enrique.
Nah, this was a good show, but I was only a small portion of this. This was all DVD and Lou out here.
Yeah, I think it did get better once Enrique came on the show, because now there's 57 likes. Before there was only 29. So.
Yeah, but it's when you changed it. It was definitely when you changed the title. That's when people realized. Yeah, it was time to step their game up.
I will admit, I shared the link out there to my Facebook friends and some other friends of mine that are in college football. So that might be a contributing factor.
I hope the title was changed by the time you shared it.
I think so.
And I just put Enrique R in the title too. By the way, you obviously don't mind or care about giving out your full name, but YouTube is funny about full names, so that's why I put Enrique R or whatever. So
it'll help me find some potential clients down the road to represent.
Right. Oh yeah, hell, you might be talking to 2 right now. In fact, can I go ahead? You know what I want to do? I want to get you now before you're even licensed. I want to go ahead and just put you on retainer if I can. Because something tells me and BVD might need you at some point for this show here. We're gonna do something we shouldn't do at some point.
I'm generally looking for a pro bono attorney, so I can probably. You're too smart for that, Enrique. So
everyone starts off with pro bono. So BVD, I will let you cash in one of your get out of jail free cards.
Outstanding. That is truly outstanding.
Lou, I will add, because I know you've been talking about going to the Georgia-Alabama game. If things play out well, and I end up going to the law school that I'm hoping I will, Tuscaloosa is only, I think, like a 4-hour drive from there, so that is definitely a game I will definitely not miss if everything goes as planned next fall.
Yeah, well, like I said, good luck with all that, the law school thing. That's great. We joke around and all a lot on here, but seriously, education is important, and man, that would be an amazing accomplishment. Law school is something serious, and so Enrique, we really appreciate you coming on this morning. This was great. 2 hours. That's longer. Listen, whatever I told you in the email that I was going to pay you, add 10% because you spent a lot of time with us this morning, and I really appreciate that. So again, thank you for coming on and spending some time with us this morning.
No, absolutely. I had a blast, and hopefully we can do some more of these down the road.
Yeah, that would be great. All right, buddy. We appreciate it.
Have a good one.
All right.
Bye, guys.
All right.
See you, Enrique.
Well, BVD, I think we saved.
I got to get Enrique to come over and be on my show one night. That would be fun.
Yeah, he's a good guy, right? Seems like it.
Yeah, he could definitely educate a lot of my people, and the whole attorney thing.
Yeah.
Like me and you putting him on retainer, and he could probably go ahead and get stocked up for the first 10, 15 years of his career over there.
Yeah, we need to keep him close to the vest here. He's good people, obviously. I think we saved the show. Now, with some help from Enrique, but it's like the first 20 minutes of this show was probably the worst 20 minutes of any morning show we've ever had for a variety of reasons, mostly all of which were my fault. But I thought it ended up pretty well. So it's time to rate the show. So let us know in the comments section. And be honest, not going to hurt our feelings. We don't have any. So if the best morning show me and BVD have ever done is a 10, what is this? So let us know. And BVD, now you've said it's been a 10 every single time. Are you sticking with that today?
Yeah, I got to remain consistent.
Okay, so you say 10. I think I gave the last show we did a 5.5. As bad as this one started, I think Enrique saved the day. I'm going to give this one a 7.5.
Well, That's outstanding, Lou.
Yeah, that's passing at least.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
In some states.
Yeah. So that was amazing. But any last words, BVD, before we wrap things up for the day?
Nothing awe-inspiring, Lou. Again, I thank you many times for bringing me over here. Seriously, though, thank you. This has been a lot of fun. I hope we continue to do it for a long time. If you guys are looking for something to do in the evenings, 4 nights a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, come over and hang out with us over on my channel. Lou is in there usually most nights in the comments, and sometimes he even calls in. So if you want to have some enjoyed Uncle Lou and BBD fun, again, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday at 8 p.m. over on my channel. You guys have an outstanding Friday and an outstanding weekend. And Lou, love you, brother. I'll be talking to you soon.
Yeah. Thanks, BVD. Good show this morning. Appreciate you guys tuning in. A lot of you watched this morning. I really appreciate it. So shout out to everybody in the comments section who stayed to the end this morning. Billy Cole, Bartholomew, Jordan, Kyle Allen, Jarvis S., Ken A.V. Guy, Mini Trades, thank you. Melissa May, Christy, Celine Driver, Colonel 707. Hope I'm saying that right. I see Enrique in the comments section. Thanks for coming on as a guest this morning, sir. Mini Trades, Billy Cole, Ken A.V. Guy, Celine Driver, Sarah Walker, thank you. And big shout out to everybody who participated in the Super Chats. That keeps these live shows going. It really means a lot. There's a billion YouTube channels and a billion ways to spend your money. And the fact that anybody would choose to directly support what me and BVD are trying to do here with the morning show really means a lot to both of us. So Mini Trades, Nature Boy, Celine Driver, Waikiki, Slim Shady, Rob D, Fromm's Middle Finger, Ballard Sports, Brad Horn, Shane Bentley, Rob D, Jason Sturkle, Ruben Terry, Rob W, Unreachable, and Enrique. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. It really means the world to us. I just can't thank you enough. So, again, in all seriousness, I do apologize for the rough start. Apologize both to the viewers and to Tyrants 5 and Enrique R. I just got the guests mixed up for today and one of the days next week, so I apologize for that, and I'll apologize to Tyrants when I talk to him too. So, great guest this morning. Enrique, thank you. We had a blast. Look forward to having you on again at some point in the future. A reminder for me, we do this show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 a.m., me and BVD, and we try to have a guest on 1 or 2 days a week when we can. And then I have my nighttime call-in show that I've been doing for years, the Uncle Lou After Dark show, every Tuesday and Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, YouTube's longest-running college football call-in show. Make sure you check it out if you haven't already. We have a great time. If football is more your thing as opposed to sort of just this stream of consciousness type art that me and BVD are doing in the mornings, then you can check out the night show. We talk a lot of football on there. I take phone calls from college football fans from all over the country, and we have a great time. So check that out too. Enrique, thank you here with this super chat here. He says, don't forget Kansas is back. Yeah, y'all got to check out the end of that game from last night. Trust me, you'll thank me later. Up to 69 likes now. Amazing. Appreciate you guys. Y'all are the best. I love you all. Look forward to seeing you next week for the morning show, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You guys have an amazing weekend, and I'll see you again real soon. Have a good morning. pay attention to me. I am the ultimate waterhead. I've been typing for an hour. Please pay me some attention, Lou. Please pay me some attention, Lou. I am the ultimate waterhead.